night, man.
What's going on, co-host?
Hey.
All right. So where you was? What's been going on?
Man, I've been in the cut like a Band-Aid. I've been having to redevelop everything that I got going on, Sister Queen, and I got to say, man, it was quite a venture for me. For me.
Okay.
Come on.
I'm listening.
Oh, okay, yeah. So basically, you know what I'm saying, we was able to get some things accomplished, you know, throughout the last couple of weeks. It was a real rough experience for me, though. You know, I really hate missing this show. You know, I hate, you know, not being able to view in and understand what's going on, what are the listening audience crying out for, you know what I'm saying, what are we experiencing together, and how we're coexisting, you understand, and with the problems in which we face and finding solutions within them. But a lot of beautiful things have come about. A lot of beautiful things have transpired over the last 2 weeks. And I am grateful to say that just for today, we are in a better position than we've ever been in before.
Yes, indeed. It sounds a little echoey in your background. I understand. I understand.
I'm fixing to learn, see if I can do something to...
Maybe it's up too loud. You got to do your sound check or something.
Okay, how does it sound now, Sister Queen?
Okay, you sounding a little bit better. No, not a lot of echoey. That's okay. That's pretty good there. Yeah, okay. So, you know, that's what it do. Yeah, that's what it do. You know, we can only try, man. That's all we can do. We can only try. We got so many things going on. Yes, no doubt. Strive. We got like so many things going on. Out here. You know, good question. Where do we start? Where do we end up? I'll say this. The end up part is that we will end up, if we don't believe in trying to do something about our education system, if we don't believe in trying to do something about our health system, our healthcare system, we will definitely be we will definitely have a harder time in finding resources that we need in our community. And I just went through a week-long training, and I'm hoping that some of the people call in, and don't forget to call in. Let me check here. Oh, hold on here, just a second here. I got some callers called in on the line. I've been around here multitasking. I've been multitasking out here, and I didn't get a chance to click back over and look at our call box. But so, you know, I was saying if we don't pay attention to what's going on politically around us, then we are doing ourselves no service when it turns out that we have to come and vote for these people. And the name of the game is keep up, not catch up. And so everybody throughout this nation, throughout this country, you need to know that there is a hidden agenda. There's a hidden agenda. There's a new agenda. And we as people of color and we as individuals that's around here trying our very best to stay engaged in what's the next political ploy or what's the next big thing that's been the pop. We got a obligation to start organizing people and trying to organize money and hopefully become what they call one of these power organizations and not just for the sake of some sort of propaganda or some sort of, just not being conscious, man. That's got to stop. That has got to stop. We have got to engage. And so I encourage others to kind of get some community training under their belt with some leadership. We have a wonderful organization out here called Isaiah, and hopefully we can get Dorian Schwartz on the phone and call in and tell us a little bit more about Isaiah and some of the wonderful work that they do. They were essential here in Minnesota with captivating 37,000 people in getting over 55% of Minnesota to vote against the voter ID registration that was to be put on the amendment for the Constitution in Minnesota. So we want to send big shots out to her and her organization. Definitely that's organizing. It's definitely a new movement out here. We watching Alec. Alec is a part of this self-destructive legislation that's going on, undermining the people within our cities and communities, and we want to make sure that we put Alec out of business. I'm going to go and pass the mic around just a little bit, Brother Hess, and then we'll be back at you. Okay, I want to pass the microphone around to caller 414. Caller 414-419. I see my brother Manu on the line. Give me a second. Let me let Neil Walk check in. Caller 414-419. Your mic is hot. Welcome to Awareness to Conscious Minds.
Greetings, family. Shout out to everybody on the show, and good to see you back, Brother Hess, and love, Queen. What's going on?
Yes. What's going on down there in your place, man?
Well, in Milwaukee, I'm still doing my, my political thing, activist. Right now we focusing on, we got our president in the office for 4 more years, you know what I'm saying? So now we focusing on these politicians in the state. You know what I'm saying?
That's good.
They actually got a document right now called, it's really funny too, it's called The Lame Duck. You know what I'm saying? It's pretty much talking about stopping these budget cuts that's going to affect a lot of families, because even though we got Obama in the office, you know what I'm saying, we still got a Hitler/governor, you know what I'm saying, Scott Walker, you know what I'm saying, and his agenda is pretty much to cut a lot of these fundings, you know what I'm saying, whether it's food share, Badger Care, Medicare. So, I'm pretty much on my activist thing on that tip right now, you know what I'm saying, bringing this awareness to these politicians that we standing on that, you know what I'm saying, we're not finna sit back and accept all these cuts because it's going to affect a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? It's going to affect that 1%. You know what I'm saying? Right. So, on the political thing, that's what I've been on. And as far as, business-wise, I've just been getting these young brothers, grooming a lot of these young brothers, you know what I'm saying, on a positive mind frame, you know what I'm saying? So I've been getting overflow with a lot of report cards coming in, so I've been cashing out. Got to make my money back before the 30th. But, brothers been coming by the house. Brothers been coming by the house, bringing their report cards, and, you know what I'm saying, it's a blessing to see, because all these brothers are, you know what I'm saying, their cumulative grade point averages is 3.0. You know what I'm saying? So,
wow.
I mean, that's good, but like I tell them, you know what I'm saying, you can always do better, just like my mama told me, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it's good that y'all got a 3-point average, all of y'all, you know what I'm saying, but strive for that, strive for betterment. You know what I'm saying? Strive for a better average. You know what I'm saying? You can't settle for less. You know what I'm saying? I mean, 3-point is good, but your goal is to hit that 4-point. So, that's the few things I've been doing, and, also getting prepared for the 30th.
I am so glad to hear that. See, this is the spirit right here, Brother Manu. This is ain't nothing but the spirit, Brother Manu, that's working. So let me go back a little bit with you, Terry, because me and Brother Manu was involved in a week-long training. I want to get this out here so that everybody is clear, okay? I want, when you get some spare time, to YouTube Exposing Alec, ALEC, and get some understanding about what Alec really truly is and how Alec is in partnership with these different companies, and how they write a lot of model law, and they actually wrote the Stand Your Ground law that happened out in Florida. And there are politicians, their legislation, and they are actually responsible in doing a lot of things when it comes to education. And I don't know if people understand this or not, how important this is, what we're saying on this radio show. Privatization, I know I ain't saying this right, but privatization of education is crucial. And in certain areas within our districts, we talk about whether these are high-performing schools that, because they're in certain districts, should they continue to get funding, or are they going to go into a private section where you have to either pay for your child's education or your child don't get educated at all? And so you want to kind of start looking at really what actually is viable, in terms of, your child getting a proper education. What is it that they're trying to push towards? Are they trying to push towards integration of schools or segregation of schools? What are we doing here letting these legislators think that they can come and make these type of laws, if you will, and policies that put in place on our amendment to put in place in our cities and states? And we found out that a lot of times the reason why there isn't any grant money in your cities because people don't follow the money. So I want to just start right there and say that whenever the federal government releases money, that money goes to your governor. Your governor then distributes that money to the state, and the state to the city, and the city to your counties. And if you don't have any grant money in your counties and in your districts, a large part of that is because of legislation. So I want to be clear about that, and I want people to understand exactly what message that we're trying to put out there. The other thing that this government, these legislators do, and it's a pocket of them, okay, it's quite a few throughout this country that buy onto this, and is backed by Comcast, Time Warner, UPS, FedEx. There's quite a few of these companies out here that buy into this government. And so it becomes like a residual. It becomes like a shaking of the hand. You shake my hand, I shake your hand, or you scratch my back and I scratch yours. And so the other part is about your health care. So they want to make it private. They want to make the education private. And they also want to put some private prisons out here where they can control everything about, how they are handled. So I think that we want to talk a little bit more about that, Brother Terry, but I want you to listen in because I want Brother Manu to kind of chime in. I got another caller on the line. It's an odd number, and that number is 111111. So I don't know who that caller is. Caller, can you tell me your name and where you're calling from? And welcome to Awareness to Conscious Mind.
Boss Mario, Charlotte, North Carolina.
Charlotte, North Carolina. We thank you for calling in, bruh. I'm going to get right back to you because I'm going to ask you what you're doing in your community and how others can get involved. But let me switch the mic right quick. Come on, Brother Manu, update us, if you will, about what the training did for you and some of the things you got out that training.
Okay. Peace, blessing to all the listeners, all this. Can you hear me?
A little bit echoey, but yeah.
Okay. I do want to extend peace and blessings to all the listeners, everybody who chimed in. But this week was a fantastic, fantabulous. It was super great.
Yeah.
Just to engage and be informed about some things about what's going on, what makes our hood, and, who's actually in control of, these resources that we find so hard to, actually get to. And, just listening to the trainers and, thinking outside the box, Sister Queen, I had to say it in group. There is no wondering why, our children check out of school, at an early age, because it was designed for them to check out. Because if they fell into that check out of school, they had something else for them, which was prison, and, certain things put in place to, cause that going on in our community. Like Brother said, we was real instrumental about getting our president back in the office. Now that's done. Now we still got work to do. Right. So, and that I thank that Brother Terry for saying that, because that's what's so important, for all the individuals that did place their vote. That was just one step. We got to keep going. We got to get engaged with individuals. We got to get in this political process. We got to get in contact with these individuals that's in position, that have been put in position by that vote. We got to hold some of these individuals accountable. Right. Like you said, the Queen, it's about, getting power, as a people, because, all of these new laws and legislation and, everything being put into place is to, deprive us of that same power to be a powerful people. And, we are a powerful people. So I didn't want to speak too much about it, but just, the whole training, and it was a week-long training from Sunday to Friday. It was really, beyond engaging. It was growing. It allowed an individual who thinks that they want to be a leader and they want to be an organizer. You just don't wake up and say, "Oh, I'm gonna start organizing." No, it's a methodology to it. You understand what I'm saying? If you want to be successful, now you can go get a couple dudes and y'all can stand around and say you got some people with you, but then what is it that y'all doing? You know what I'm saying? How many do you have on counting? How are those numbers being used to, influence individuals that's placed in control or over you? You understand? Like you're talking about the mayor, the governor, the senator, the representative, the alderman. These individuals work for you now if you place that vote. These individuals work for you. So, we have to understand how, and this is nationwide. This is not just in Minneapolis. It's not just in Georgia. It's not just in Florida or Milwaukee. This is nationwide, that, we have to actually, those individuals who see themselves as leaders, actually, take that responsibility, and take up that torch and get with other leaders. And I said in the group, and I say it here, and just be through with it so some more people can chime in. But the 9/10 rule is in effect. And the 9/10 says that if you're around 9 individuals that's going nowhere and doing nothing, you will be the 10th. But if you're around 9 individuals that's growing, that's doing good stuff, good productive stuff in your neighborhood, that's, helping individuals, that's productive and progressive, if you're around 9 individuals who have a, millionaire, billionaire mindset, you will be the 10th.
Yeah, that's true. And so my thing is that I want to be clear, because I don't know how serious people are looking at ALEC. I don't know how serious people are looking at the chambers of commerce. I don't know how serious people are looking at government. I'm not here to tell people to stop being a Republican. I'm not here to tell people to stop being what you are and what you believe in. I'm just simply here to tell you that now that we got the president, okay, now that you got this president here for 4 more years, it is now time for you to start paying close attention to why there isn't money in your community, why that there isn't programs for young people in your community. There is a reason why that has happened. And we found out that there is a group of legislators going around taking side bets, as to speak. Alec is alive and kicking. So there is a YouTube video out that exposes who and what Alec means. I forgot what the A stands for, but I understand it's Legislative Exchange Commerce and Commission, I believe, Commerce or Commission. And those people, on the whole documentary, it tells you about who is lining those legislators' pockets. And we want to be clear. We want to be clear that you understand that it is power in organizing people, not just organizing people in the sense of, getting a group on count. It's about organizing people all over your community. As many people as you can get that you need to door knock and tell them about Alec and tell them about what's going on in your city and tell people what's going on in your government. You want to be a part of that process. You want to be a part of that because you want people to know, listen, when 2016 comes, I am not going to be voting or wondering what's going on and why my community is having a lack of community recreation centers for these young people. So I just want you all to keep at the forefront of this. And, Brother Manu, if you can, try to, text some of our people that were out there in Detroit and met with us from Ohio, because I want to let everybody on this show know that this is the platform. We talk about what you do in your community and how can others get engaged. And this is definitely an engaging experiment. I'm going to move the microphone around because I got a couple callers that have been called in. I got a caller, 612-799-612-799. Welcome to Awareness to Conscious Minds. Your mic is hot. Can you tell us where you're calling from and what your name is?
Hello?
Hello? Is this caller 612-799?
1410?
You put that out there. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, no, this is Mr. Thomas from the Hub, hanging out with y'all at the training. I was just calling to listen in.
All right.
I'm on the line with y'all.
You know what? We thank you, Brother Thomas, for calling in, and I don't want you to go nowhere, so just stay right there and let me get to some of these other callers. I got a couple callers holding on the line. Brother Thomas was out there.
I'm in at the winning. I'm with y'all. Listen in.
All right. Okay, I got another caller. Caller 706-237. Caller 706-237. Welcome to Awareness to Conscious Minds. Your mic is hot. Please tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Yeah, this is Fahim. I'm calling from Georgia.
Raheem calling from Georgia. I thank you so much. Brother, can I get you to hold the line just one more moment?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, okay. So I got another caller, caller 612-695, caller 612-695. Welcome to Awareness to Conscious Minds. Your mic is hot. Please tell us where you're calling from and what your name is.
Hey, Queen, this is Rox from Northside. I miss y'all already.
I miss you too, sis. All the people that went into the training out there, Brother Terry in Milwaukee. So let me get right to my North Carolina caller. Okay, caller 111. Caller. All right, brother from Milwaukee. I'm sorry, brother from North Carolina. Can you chime in just a little bit with me?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Okay, now let me know your name again and tell me what you're doing in your community and how others can get involved.
Boss Mario. DeMario Russell.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying, pretty much what I've been doing, you know what I'm saying, with my community is just, you know what I'm saying, reaching out, you know what I'm saying, to the mayors, to the, you know what I'm saying, to the, you know what I'm saying, city councilmen, and just pretty much just let them know what's going on within the community, you know, because it's, I know, you know what I'm saying, as far with this crisis and with the, you know what I'm saying, economy, it's been a lot of struggling. It's been a lot of heartache for a lot of people, mainly dealing with the middle class and the lower class. But it's what I see it, what I look at, you know what I'm saying, in today's society is just pretty much like a class struggle between the haves and the have-nots. And dealing with, when you're dealing with the, you know what I'm saying, certain, you know what I'm saying, system that we got, you know what I'm saying, where that, I mean, you need a job and you got to work, and, you know what I'm saying, or these, you know what I'm saying, just for you to get money. But if it ain't no jobs, or if like the pay wages are low, it's kind of hard for you to make ends meet. Dealing with what, you know what I'm saying, Mitt Romney said, you know, as far as what the pay wages are down and the cost of living are up. But you know what I'm saying, generally I just been working, like, you know what I'm saying, with the housing authority, you know what I'm saying, in my city, is as far as with just trying to come up with ways for low income, you know what I'm saying, people to just make it easier for them to, you know what I'm saying, for them to pay their bills and to pay their rent. Now, it was a meeting that we had not too long ago that we had where they was going to build more, you know what I'm saying, low-income housing, since, you know, rent, most of the time, that's where, you know what I'm saying, most of your money goes towards anyways is rent. So what they did was they're going to start building more, you know what I'm saying, low-income housing, but you know what I'm saying, but the part about it is that it could take up to years, you know what I'm saying, for them to build it. So what I was, you know what I'm saying, trying to implement was that they give, like, you know what I'm saying, tax credits and, you know what I'm saying, tax cuts to, like, you know what I'm saying, like these homeowners out here who own their houses in order for them, you know what I'm saying, to reduce the rent, you know what I'm saying, for low-income people.
Okay.
So right now, I already talked to the mayors, you know what I'm saying, assistant. She called me not too long ago, like, you know what I'm saying, 2 days ago, and she, like, said, well, you know, that's a good idea. So, you know, but it's going to take more than just, you know, calling the mayor's office and the governor. You really, really got to get out here and get support, you know what I'm saying, from the people. So what I'm about to start doing is, you know what I'm saying, I'm going to make a petition to, you know what I'm saying, in order to get this, you know what I'm saying, passed in the bill, you know what I'm saying, get the bill passed, because with the fact that it's a problem that's going on in my city as far as with, like, the rent is, like, it's high, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So, and I just thought, well, you know what I'm saying, maybe if y'all would cut the taxes for these homeowners, because these homeowners are getting taxed. You know, you got property tax, you got all these taxes to where they might have to set the rent rate at a price where not low income people can afford it, but just people that make, you know what I'm saying, above. But I just feel like low income people and, you know what I'm saying, low income people are being hurt the most out here.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to make a, you know what I'm saying, petition I just wanted to make a petition. You know what I'm saying, that would just, you know what I'm saying, reduce the cost of rent for you know what I'm saying, low income cities.
Well, let me put something to the table, right? Because like I got some panels, I got some experts right here sitting on this table. I got some experts right here, and one of the things we learned about petitions is, let me back up just a little bit. I learned the slogan this weekend, and it said, "Organize people, organize money." Okay, and so what I want you to kind of start thinking about is how if I get something on the table to get to legislation, because it's not just the mayor that it needs to be involved in your conversation. It's the banks that need to be involved in your conversation, because these banks are who deal with these homeowners. And as far as the housing and taxes go, yeah, that's a legislative issue, but also it's a federal issue, because these houses, they have a housing thing with HUD. And if you got some paper and pen, I want you to write this down. There's a such thing that's happening with HUD called a Section 236. And what Section 236 does, it automatically qualifies a building or resident or what have you, depending upon what laws that HUD is implementing, to already give that property, once people move in, a low-income advantage. So it'll go by 30% of what a person's income is. Now, there's dollars available for that. But, again, that's at the federal level. And what I learned is that if you are doing a movement, you need people to make things move. So I suggest that not only do you get a list of people that you can count on that's going to show up and start doing some things to make a difference in your community, I suggest that you can work with, your community that you're in and start growing from city to city. Now, when you get to talking to them politicians and telling them, listen, I have 300 people or 300 of your constituents that's ready to talk to you about this, high mortgage or high rent, and here's a solution. I think it's more effective that way in addressing the issue. But I'm gonna go to this sister Roxanne, because this is a community organizer. And I want people to start thinking, all my listening audience out there, I want you to start thinking in terms of what does it mean to be a community organizer and how I can do that, because those are the people that really get action, not so much as the activists, because the activists do a lot of protesting about an issue. And what you find is community organizers organize people, and in turn with that, it organizes dollars so that you become effective. Okay? Let me pass the mic to caller Roxanne. Roxanne, come on in. Hey, yes. Come on, speak on something.
Well, first of all, I think what you're saying is real. Like, there is a difference between activism and organizing. Activism is more of the to-do stuff. So there is something called direct action organizing, where you do a lot of actions to complete your organizing tasks. So that is very valuable in the organizing world, I believe. I was trained to be an organizer 5 years ago at Hope Community over South Minneapolis, Minnesota. And they had a program called Sustainable Progress Through Engaging Active Citizens. And what they did was they told us a lot about community organizing, saying about the major part of it is building relationships. That is real power in community organizing. Doing one-to-ones where you get to know people's self-interest. You always remember your self-interest when you build relationships with people, so that you can find common interests and you guys can get together and build power and network with each other. And it's a give and take situation. You do for me, I do for you. You have to remember your self-interest all the time, make sure that you have something just for yourself that you're really fighting for, that's something that's really important to you, that connects with your passion or your pain or your love and your fight. And so for me, I have a lot of pain and a lot of love and a lot of fight in me. And so when I started this work, really organizing has changed my life in many ways, because there's a path that you can go down, a self-destructive path you can go down when you're dealing with a lot of pain from the system and the oppression. But if you can focus that anger and that rage and that pain and put it towards something positive, like uplifting each other and breaking down your own internal oppressors, the things that you even keep yourself from getting higher and succeeding, and also figuring out, what you're angry at. What is the system that you're angry at? What part of the system? And for me, I'm angry at a lot of it. I'm angry at the foreclosures. I'm angry at the lack of funding for our communities. I'm angry at the pollution, always in the low-income, people of color areas. And so I fight a lot of it. I fight industrial pollution. And with organizing, you have to build relationships. So I've done a lot of activism and helping to build relationships with people of all different passions and all different interests. And that's the way to go, is to build relationships, because the power is within us together.
Okay, that's so true. And so I hope that Demario, correct? Demario Russell. So I'm hoping that you grab something from that, bro. Is that, number one, this is about your self-interest, and you're passionate about these mortgages and these high rents. And a lot of times people too from these banks, they get sucked into taking out a second mortgage or refinancing, not knowing that refinancing also increases your payment. And before you know it, you out of a crib. And so it's not by people misappropriating funds for their housing. What really happens is that people don't know that all these programs take advantage of them, and they wind up paying more for a house that is not worth as much. And then it becomes astronomical when it comes to paying that mortgage. And so there's a lot of different factors, but then there becomes predatory lending, where we already are on top of U.S. Bank and Wells Fargo, that is part of that predatory lending in our communities. And so I think that you got a valid drive and a valid campaign to move against that kind of and make people aware of what that is. I just want to try to empower you with some tools, and some of the stuff that we learned over this past week was, again, organizing people. My man, you need a list. You need to get with as many people as you can to let these mayors and let these people know, hey, this is your district. These are your constituents. And I got this many people that's willing to show up at a town meeting and start having discussions about what banks is out here doing this predatory lending. And on top of that, I would encourage you to do some research that HUD has specific low-income properties that they can give tax breaks to, called Section 236, and how that would be applicable out there in North Carolina. All right?
All right. That's understood.
All right, love, folks. Love. And that's what it do. So I just want people to understand that what's going on out here and what we trying to do as a movement. That's one of, the states that, I love the power that y'all doing out there, because I've been seeing a lot on Facebook that they've been having community cleanups in Atlanta and, just doing a lot of productive stuff and putting it out there on Facebook. That's what it's going to take. Promote yourself. Get you a public life, you understand me, and do your thing. I'm going to move the microphone around just a little bit. Let me go right on back over here to 706-237 and chime in just a little bit. What you doing in the community, and how can others get involved?
Oh, I'm just trying to get involved. That's all. You know what I'm saying? I'm just tuning in and trying to see what I can do.
Okay. What part of the state you from now?
I'm from Atlanta.
You from Atlanta. Okay. So now, it's a lot of things out here that we could be connecting and doing, right? So I talked about a little bit about ALEC and how that's a group of legislation that is actually involved in, coming in our communities and making sure that we're not receiving grants and making sure that we're not really, getting the kind of funding and private, making our public schools private and pushing to get rid of the public schools so that people would have to pay for an education. And some of us is really struggling. Like we just heard the brother out there in North Carolina talking about. Wait, now we got some background noise. Oh, wait, just a minute. We can't have background noise on our show. Okay, so we just we want to make sure that I forgot to say it, Brother Hess. I forgot to say it. If the mic is not on you and we're not in dialogue, you kind of got to mute your background so we don't have a whole lot of interference on the show. And then that kind of keeps your conversation, whatever's going on in your background, kind of private there. But so I want to say, going back to the brother in Atlanta, I want to get you up to speed a little bit because there is some things that you can do. Again, organizing people is organizing power. We want to make sure that you all are out there with the understanding that that's what's happening in our communities, and that's what we need to be doing. We need to get as many people, not just, the folks that we need to know to get on count, but we need to start building, organizing people so that we can organize that type of personal power that we're looking for in our own community. And getting to some of these legislators and letting them know, this here, I'm well aware of what's happening in my community, and I need us to know where do you all stand on education or where do you stand with health. And again, they trying to make it very private so that we don't get the health care that we can afford to have. So I want to make sure that we understand that there's a fight out there. And I appreciate you for calling in. And hopefully the next time you call on my show, you got something good you want to put down. And you know what I'm saying? And I support you 100%. I'm on Facebook. So if anybody want to reach my co-host or me, my co-host, I want to introduce my co-host again because I think that for some of the people that call in on the show, they don't understand my co-host's situation or my co-host's story. So I'm going to put the microphone. I got a caller. I'm going to hold on to you, caller, 612-310. Just a moment. I recognize that you're on the line, but I want my co-host to get it in just a little bit and come in and talk about his story and where he at and what's happening with him. Co-host, Brother Hess.
Yeah, Sister Queen. Yeah, this is Brother Hess stepping in, man. Just want to give a short, brief synopsis on some of the things that I've been through. I was raised in the inner city. It's from Atlanta to L.A., back to Texas, and I was incarcerated at the age of 16. And from 16 to 26, I did a extensive bid as a juvenile that led into my early adulthood. At 26, I was released with support. I was released from an institution that only made me get a GED, and it didn't even add any type of help afterwards to gain any access to any avenues in life. So basically, I went back to what I knew. They say if nothing changes in your thinking, nothing changes in your actions. Well, basically, I got out there, and I stayed out there about a year, and I was reincarcerated, for the death of a person. Now, I say this right here in a blatant issue to say that if we know nothing and we use nothing, and basically I say that to say this, me, myself, I look at the mistakes that I made in life now at the age of 32, and I look back at the past 5 years and I see that change had to come about. I began to learn how to change when someone began to hold my hand and help me. They gave me the experience, strength, and hope that it took to show me that it can be done. I didn't believe it could be done. I didn't believe there were any options. No one ever sat down long enough to be able to organize things inside of my life and help me until I learned to organize things in my own life. And then in turn, do the same thing for still others. And so that's where I'm at today. You know, I'm 5 years into this extensive sentence. And basically the only thing that I do is I dedicate my life to enriching the lives of others to ensure they have the opportunities that I don't. You know, the sister spoke about action, about activism, as opposed to organizing. Well, basically that's exactly what I am. You know, I'm an actor. I get out here, I get inside the realms of the most dirtiest, slimiest people that people may have ever heard about. And I learned how to find solutions to their problems. But first I use empathy in order to place myself in their shoes. We're talking about rapists, child molesters. We're talking about all forms of, you know, just criminalistic minds. And basically, you know, I that's what I do. I find ways to see where they're mostly focusing their minds at and how can we begin to expose them to the solution. You know, we know that we are our worst problems. I talked myself into doing the worst things I've ever done in life. But we also got to remember, there's a little bit of good in the worst of us, just like there's a little bit of bad in the best of us. So whichever one that you choose to present for today, I pray that we can be able to bring out that little bit of good and that whole lot of bad that you can learn from. So with that being said, Sister Queen, you know, I thank the people that came on the show today. Sister Roxanne, we thank you so much for giving your experiences. We thank you so much for giving insight.
Yes, and you know, yes, I appreciate you. You know, I wanted to say, now, I didn't know that, you know, I thought you was in like a medium facility. I didn't know that you was in like a max facility. Are you in like a max facility or a medium? You're in a max facility?
Most definitely.
Wow. And see, and people can learn from that right there. I mean, you know, you looking at doing another 20. I mean, man, they can learn from that. And still you got the strength to reach out, and still you got the mindset to help others and to help organize while you inside. So that's one of the most powerful things right there. And, you know, you're my co-host. I love you dearly because I know you understand that you really do what you say and say what you mean. And, I mean, you know, for anybody that's out here that has their freedom, if you doing less than that, you just really not about the business or about this life. Because here's a man telling you, you know, despite his circumstance, he's still willing to work on whatever it is that he can do, whether it's self and self-interest, and to work with those individuals that he sees that's, you know, right there with him. So I commend you for that. Salute to you for that, my brother. I'm going to jump right to this call right here. I got a caller on the line. Caller 612-310. Caller 612-310. Welcome to Awareness to Conscious Minds. Your mic is hot. Can you tell us your name and where you're calling from?
Yes, Sister Queen, this is Manu. I'm calling from my other phone because the phone I call in on went dead, so I just, you know, I had to go to my backup phone, you know. So.
Okay, I was wondering. Okay. Oh my goodness gracious! I thank you so very much. I lost my caller out here. Somebody's phone is on speakerphone. I'm so sorry, but my system lets me know that when you're on speakerphone, it echoes throughout our studio mic.
I'm sorry, Queen.
So,
can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, my goodness. You know I'm slow at this blog talk, so I didn't know we all could hear each other. I'm trying to work it out over here. I got you. I'm sorry.
Okay, so we going to keep – I'm going to pass the mic back down here, down the street. Let me go up into the city of Milwaukee, the state of Wisconsin. Brother Terry, So I know that you got a lot of stuff going on, that you politicking out there, and that you holding the legislation out there accountable. Do you see a lot of community organizing, or have you been involved in any kind of church organizing, or is there a way to get to an Isaiah training? I think the next Isaiah training with these churches, Lutheran churches, will be in Ohio. I want to say I heard the executive director say, Dorian Strand, that it should be out in Ohio. So can you chime in just a little bit with me, Milwaukee?
Yes, ma'am. To answer your question, no, I haven't. I really don't see a lot of community pretty much. I don't see a lot of community input as far as these situations going with our politicians. You know what I'm saying? So me being the person that I am, it was a must. You know what I'm saying? And I stress that a must for me to step up. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And, you know, anything I'm doing as far as that go, I have my son right along with me. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Because he's going to know this. You know what I'm saying? So, right. I mean, of course, this is what I believe in as well. You know what I'm saying? It's, you know what I'm saying, one of our policies. So, I mean, it was a no-brainer for me. You know what I'm saying? If I got that opportunity, I'm going to get there and get in these people's face. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a whole lot of crap going on, and I'm not, you know, just like Brother Man, you stated, we don't just vote for the president. You know what I'm saying? We're also voting to elect y'all in office, and while y'all there, y'all going to hear a voice from the community. I don't care if it's just my voice, you know what I'm saying? But you're going to hear it. You know what I'm saying? At the end of every sentence, you still going to hear Free Larry Hoover and the BOD. You know what I'm saying? It just don't stop. You know what I'm saying? But as far as the thing in Ohio, I'm down for that. I mean, if I find out the date or whatever prior to it, I can set up arrangements to attend that. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So I don't really see a lot of church-based organizations doing anything too much, but I mean, while I got this torch, I'm finna run with it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm finna enlighten a lot of these churches, these kids, these parents, these mothers, these young women, these prostitutes out here. Like, hey, you know what I'm saying? You want to work these streets, you need to get in this field. You need to see what's up. You know what I'm saying? Right. So, I mean, it's a must to enlighten a lot of brothers and sisters, because there's a whole lot of blindness going on.
Right. I definitely agree with you on that. You know, one of the things that I took away from the training that we just had was that, you know, it is power in organizing people. The thing is that there needs to be a commitment made. I want to say this a little bit here. It needs to be a commitment made that if I call on you, you show up. If I ask you to do this, then you support me 100%, as long as it's within a righteous endeavor. And I think that was the type of dedication I looked at when I was picked to do this training and to go. I was not finna miss it. I was not finna miss none of it, because I wanted to know all of it so that I could come back to my community and put this Alec on blast and put these different things out here on how to organize and organize people. And I kind of have already gotten started with organizing people, because I organized through 16 states already. And I guess where I'm also at is that to try to make sure that we make this a continuing movement, you know, not just an effort, but we need to continue to make sure that our voice is heard, and that what's going on out here in our communities, we just not going to take it no more. We just can't take it. We can't sit around and wait anymore for to look a gift horse in the mouth. We can't do that no more. I'm sorry. The days of our communities getting grant monies and the days of our communities being able to have different things out here for these young people is drying up. It's drying up. And we really have to be creative enough to say, okay, let me and, you know, Milwaukee and Detroit and whoever else get together and start traveling in our communities and start having these different things that we learn. I saw Brother Manu start taking pictures. He started taking pictures of the notes. They was writing stuff down. Brother Matthew was taking pictures of them. And that's creative because it's not like we stealing y'all's information, but we need, our community is so desperately hurting out here that we need to be having them posted boards and sticky posts on the wall so that you can read that when we come through. And we can find a church that is willing to open those doors for us and come through and do these trainings in our own hood. I think we need that, Roxanne. Yeah, we need that.
That's right.
You know? So I want to go to Brother Thomas. Brother Thomas, what was the training like for you?
Well, I'd say it was definitely quite an experience for me because that person didn't know what to expect. I knew it was on some type of leadership plateau, but I didn't expect to be able to organize. And pretty much, not to be redundant about the information you said, what Sister Queen is saying is exactly what I got. And I'm not particularly an organizer. You know, I work with Brother Manu and Queen, and I assist them by the means of technology. But it was just powerful for me to just listen to that. And like you say, I mean, now's the time. Alec. Yeah. I mean, Alec is crazy. Alec. Because our dollar, what we doing, what we think is cool or whatever, is what we like, we're funding the people that's doing this to us and taking this money out our neighborhood. So that right there, that's a problem.
Yes,
and through the organizing, you know, whether it's like you said, Minneapolis, back in my city, Detroit, brothers from Milwaukee, brothers in Atlanta, we got to do it everywhere. That's right. We funding, so maybe we should start there. And then when you mention about the pastors at the churches, that's a good question because now that I think about it, even before I left Detroit and I'm going to church with my parents, there was not really a lot of outreach at that church. And I do some work for them now. So I was building a website for them. And I kept asking them, well, what are you guys doing? You guys are not doing any outreach? I mean, where's the information at? We don't really do any of that. So I'm sure that's not the only place. That's Detroit. Like you said, I don't know what's all going on in the city of Minneapolis. You guys are close to that. But I'm glad we had the pastors and the bishops there. But I think they definitely should be more involved because, like you said, what are you doing at your church? What did Jacob say? You have all these people, but yet you do nothing.
Right.
The message got to get out to the pastors too. But you know, I can go on and on too because we've been at that training all week. But yeah, we got to act. Everybody needs to play their part. If you're not a person likes to speak or be out in front, find out what else you can do. I do technology. That's my way. If that's the way I can help my people, I'll do that. Whatever you do, if you sing, then make a song or protest and get in your neighborhoods, but do something. Be a part of it. So figure out what that is, find your self-interest and your passion, and then figure out how you can utilize that in this movement. I'm going to hush up and listen to y'all, but I appreciate the time, Sister Quinn.
Thank you, brother. Much love and respect. We much love and respect. You know, even technology is important because a lot of us, you know, I don't know all the specifics about, you know, technology. I don't know all the specifics about, you know, how do you blend those together or not. I really don't. And, you know, so every talent is necessary. Every talent is necessary for us to kind of, you know, engage here because that's the main thing. Like, that's us. We don't engage enough in our communities, you know, but we show quick to be on some BS to tear them down, to criticize that I don't shop at this store here because black folks own it. The dollar doesn't bounce enough in our communities with us, and so you know, I'm kind of like at a shock because you know I didn't know anything about Alec. I kept on saying Alec like it was ALCK, but it's ALEC. okay, ALEC. And I didn't know how we were funding this monster, and he'd been eating good and having hotel parties and kicking it and flying and jet planes. So I didn't know a lot about that. What did you get out of the video, Thomas, when you put that out there? Because I didn't understand what was happening with that, really. Can you tell me just a little bit more?
And, Sister Queen, I think I looked at that earlier, and I just sent you that request so I can post it on your page, so I'll be doing that as soon as I get that response.
Yeah.
But,
I got it.
But, I mean, like you said, I think you pretty much spelled it out. I mean, the video was just, it wasn't a surprise, actually, after hearing what was going on, but the video just broke it down. So I strongly encourage all of you, when I get a chance to post this, or wherever it needs to be posted, that you guys watch it so you get your own understanding of it. But like you say, it pretty much said, hey, those ALEC, they're not doing what we're sitting up here on the phone talking about, doing all that in the community organizing, this, that, and the third. They don't even take that route. And they like for you guys to do that because it takes time away from paying attention to what they're doing. And that's, getting all together and making these felonious bills and then getting on the ballots, and we're not doing anything about it, really knowing who's funding it, like that voter ID bill. So, I mean, that's what they're doing. They're getting together. Their membership fees, dues, they're sponsoring trips out the country to go to these clubs and play golf and discuss how they're going to take money out of our kids' mouths and out of our communities. That's what they're doing. So if you get a chance to watch it, because as Sister Queen was saying, they're working. They're out there having a good time, talking about how to keep us out of power. And they do that because if they understand that money for them is power. You take the money out of the community, they have no power to come after them. So that's what Alex is about, and that's what that video says. So, like I said, after this talk, just let me know where I need to post it at, and I encourage all you guys to take a look at it.
Yes, absolutely, because I just added you. I'm working. I got 2 different things jumping here.
Okay.
So I'm working on that as well.
Well, let me add you right now then.
Yes, absolutely, because I think that, again, I tell people this is not a game. Us trying to survive, us black people, we got to strategize. We got to really figure it out as to what is it that we're trying to get out here. What is our self-interest? Number one, what is our self-interest? I know I got a couple, but what is the focus of my self-interest? Is it social justice? Is it racial inequality? What is it that I'm fighting for? What is it that drives me to get on a radio show and tell people, hey, everybody, it's time to wake the hell up. It's time to get up off your ass and go out here and get in this community and do what's necessary, because that's what's up. That's what's up. We sat back far too long, and I often thought that, okay, well, I've been involved with the gangsters and I've been in prison and I got a felony and nobody is going to want, to deal with me. But when I heard that woman, the executive director of Isaiah, Dorian, and Julie Listener, when I heard them say that they picked me to do this training, that means that somebody has a vested interest in me to get out here and do something in my community. And I'm ready, lights, camera, action ready. Okay, I'm ready because I see the big picture now. If we let them come up with private education on our children, there is a likeliness that we have reversed our education system to nothing. If we come up and have private health care, we have reversed the opportunity for people with chronic illnesses to die off. And I'm at a point with it, okay? That's all I'm saying. I'm at a point with it. And so I do my homework, Brother Manu, just like you and Sister Roxanne and so many others that sit on this line. I do my homework. So it's definitely going to take us to get out here and continue this dialogue. Let me put the mic. Let me put the mic right back. Let me see something here. Okay, come on. I was just finna call on
girl,
you.
I'm running around chasing babies, but I want to jump in the conversation so bad. I'm like chasing my 2-year-old over here, trying to change her diaper and whatnot. But anyway, I really think this is a powerful show. I'm so glad, Queen, to have met you. I think your power is amazing, and I'm so glad that we have a lot of listeners out there. I think that the time is now, everyone. We must wake up. You are so right. We must wake up. Our lives depend on it right now. When I'm out here fighting, I'm not just fighting for the community, but I am the community. My family is the community. We live here. So if the community's not doing right, we're not going to do right. And I'm not trying to leave the hood like that. I want to create here. And I believe that we have the power. If you're angry, if you're enraged by the way that we have been treated as human beings, you are qualified. You are qualified. But the system would like to lie to you and tell you that you're not qualified, that you're special ed, or you're a gangbanger, or you're a felon. They want to give you all these labels to tear you down and make you feel powerless. Everything they try to do is to make you feel like you can't do anything right. And they have succeeded. They are so strategic that they have came up with the ALEC, like you're talking about, which is a master manipulator brain plan, where they are strategically planning things to keep us oppressed in every way. And every plan and every tactic that they have, it goes together. It's a complete plan. And the plan always is divide and conquer. So while we're hating on each other, or while we're hurting each other, while we're telling each other, you know what, you look like shit. You act like shit. You're not shit. Those are the sound bites that we were told growing up by society, by our families, or by people who have violated us. They have made us felt invaluable. But we are so valuable. That's why they keep locking us up, because we're angry, because we're uncontrollable, because we're wild, because we were never made to be slaves. We were never made to be subservient to these people who are the oppressors. We were never made for that. So they know that at any point in time we could snap and use our anger to focus and to get organized and organize our money and our people and our power. And they're right. We are powerful, and we are doing that. But we need everybody's help. We can't just keep saying, well, you know what? I've got my stuff that I got to do. I just got to worry about me and my family. That's right. Get your life right. That's totally real. But don't forget that if people are around you unwell, if people are around you failing and drowning, they will try to pull you down with them. So let's try to think about the whole holistic part about it. We are our community. We are this universe. Each and every one of us are a part of this universe. And you have to start thinking like that. Everything matters. Yeah. And so, for me, I fight for racial equity. I mean, I'm building relationships with a bunch of different people who have different passions, because when I figure out that day when I need everybody to join me, I'm going to call on my environmental justice friends. I'm going to call on my racial equity friends. I'm going to call on these new bank relationships that I've made with TCF bank members. I'm going to call on them, and I'm going to hold them accountable to come out here and do the work. The work. Yes, absolutely. So,
you see,
I'm loving your radio. I'm like, this is great.
Good. That's right. This is what's up. I told you. It's like an addiction. We got to be here. So the thing is, and what's interesting is, I'm shocked that nobody from Detroit called in. I'm shocked that nobody from Ohio called in. Like, you know, we kept announcing it, and then they're all in our groups, and, you know, but then I understand, too, that sometimes people, when they come from underneath agitation, they just want to get away. Oh, I don't want to have nothing else to do with it. And really, I think that agitation is about thought-provoking. When I heard Reverend Jacob say, you have all this congregation, you have all these members, you have all these folks, yet you do nothing for your community. That was like standing at the Liberty, the bell, and ringing until everybody heard that sound. Because there's a lot of people that is in this country that believe that privilege comes in a certain color. That because they have a privilege that they get to just relax and not do nothing. That because I'm a gangster, I don't have to work. You got to work twice as hard. And anybody that's out there with a privilege, you need to be using it. Else, you're just walking in the park by yourself, Brother Manuel. I remember you posted that. It's just leadership needs followers. You need to build your people. You need to build not just for the folks on the line, not just the folks, but you need to get everybody you can. You need a list of people behind you that are in the community that is just as outraged as I am on this show. Because if you thought I'm playing on this show, if you thought I'm just doing this because I like to hear myself talk, you got me fucked up. I'm on this show because I need people to get agitated. I need you to get outraged. I need you to wake up. That's what I need from you. I need you to go and door knock when it ain't election time. I need you to hold community meetings and talk about these issues that's going on in this country. I need you all to engage. Else we're going to lose every kid, everybody. They're going to have an agenda that's just like they got out there in Arizona that drives on them Hispanics. That's the same thing. I see it coming. You are not privileged because you think you live in a certain area code. You're not without being under attack. That's what I aim to tell you. Well, I got a brother that's locked up right here on this line for 30 years that's out here working for free. He ain't getting a dime to do this. He's doing time, but he's still willing to get out here and work and open up the mind of individuals. Man, don't go back out there and do what I did and come back up in here. Well, let me see you come back up in here no more. This is what you need to be addressing. This is what you need to be on. It's serious. This is serious. It's a serious thing, Brother Ed. It's serious for you to be one of them good brothers that's locked in a system that did all that time as a juvenile and then come back and catch a 30-year bit. It's serious.
It is.
You know, I want you to speak a little bit more, bro, because a lot of times I don't get a chance to get that microphone in front of you because we have all these people calling in, and I'm trying to give somebody out here some understanding about a public life, about the intention of what's going to come.
That's right.
I'm trying to bring it all to the forefront. Everything I learn, I learn to recite from We the Willing, led by the knowing, to do the impossible for the ungrateful.
That's right.
I done so much with so little for so long, I'm now capable, qualified to do anything with nothing at all.
Nothing at all.
I need individuals to know how serious that man. When that man wrote that right there, tears rolled down my face, man.
That's right.
Because we are still the willing.
Yes,
we
we
make
are.
the sacrifice for people that are so ungrateful. So, I mean, you know, I'm going to pass the mic on around. Let me pass the mic on around. My hand itching. I hope it's some money.
Come on, Queen. Come on.
I hope it's some money. One of the things we learned, too, Brother Hess, was how to make $10,000. Okay? I sat around and I watched how they put this pyramid together. They said, ask one institution for $2,000. Ask the second institution for a $1,000 donation. That's $4,000. Then it said, turn around and ask 50 people for $20. Or turn around and ask 20 people for $50. That's, you know, in those sums, when you start thinking like that, and we start being able to put that money back into Awareness to Conscious Mind, CGA, One Family, One Community, you know, ultimately we have done great work. Ultimately,
right.
Brother Hess, we've done great work.
Right.
I got another caller that just popped on our line. Caller 612-812. Caller 612-812. Welcome to Awareness to Conscious Minds. Your mic is hot. Thank you for calling Awareness to Conscious Minds. Please tell me your name and where you're calling from.
My name is Kovan Baldwin. I'm calling from Minneapolis, Minnesota.
He called in. Kovan. He called in, y'all. Hold on one moment. Bear with me, Kovan. Maybe you can three-way them people out there in Detroit and get to waking them up and letting them know that we live on the air and they got about 30 minutes to call and check in. Because I know we like an hour. Are we an hour behind them or an hour before them?
I think
they're on that East Coast time, so it's 8:30.
Oh, it's 8:30. Okay, so somebody better call them and let them know we on the show, Kovan. Somebody. Let me put the microphone back in front of my co-host that's down here in Atlanta, Georgia. Come on, bring me some good news. Shower me with your love. Shower me with some blessings.
Well, you know, Sister Queen, you know, it's a beautiful thing that everybody was able to come together, you know, and get educated on this alley. You know, one thing that we learned about a whole lot in growing up, you know what I'm saying, you know, growing and developing, is about a subject we call social development, social conditioning. And basically what I'm understanding from what this, you know, the brother Manu, he actually texted me the pictures that he took of those post-ups. And he sent me the pictures, and I began to look at them and view them and break it down. And I learned how it is very, very, very dynamic in the way that we can take things and ideas and utilize them in the right perspective and be able to bring about change, actually formulate thoughts in the minds and the hearts of others that will begin to bring about change. And that's what we need right here. You know, a lot of people wondered how was I able to go straight out of diagnostic and go into a high security penitentiary and organize a program called POPS. And it's acronym, the Prisoners Organizing Peace Systems. And one thing that brought red flags was systems. That's what the penal system looked at the most. They was like, how can an inmate design an actual systematic approach to bring peace in an environment that's supposed to instill nothing but chaos, confusion, insanity? Wow. You know, and basically what I did was I just basically took the social conditioning that has been brought on our people who have been oppressed by the school system, by the prison system, by the social conditioning in which has basically incorporated things in our mind to make us feel like we're nothing. It is something serious when you see that we hate ourselves so much that we begin to kill ourselves off, that we begin to expect the very bare minimum for ourselves, and we're okay with it. I mean, we're literally okay with it. We go to sleep okay at night. That's not good. And so basically what I ask the people to begin to do is within every little small setting, community, or institution, is design a job for you that creates a system of betterment in that environment. We have to design our jobs, Queen. We have to design our communities in a way that will bring about different approaches to the different people there, the youth. You started the mentoring packages. You understand? The elders, who think about us being able to actually give an hour a day to these older people who are no longer able to move around for themselves. You know, we're talking about each other. And like the sister said, you know, finding that pain, focusing on that pain, and utilizing that pain in a way that can actually propel us into searching out solutions, to finding others who care enough to help us find these solutions, and then to build ourselves up to a healing point. Because we got to see, why is all this pain here? Why are we hurting ourselves? Where's the love gone to? You know what I'm saying? I can't love nobody else until I learn to love myself, Queen.
Yes.
So if my people are killing themselves, that means they no longer love themselves until I start loving them. And if I'm able to see that, then I am the love that they need. I can't run from that.
Right.
Denial. Lord have mercy, I've seen people in denial for real. So, you know, I think it's more than time, you know what I'm saying, to feed off of each other's energy. Let's use awareness to conscious minds as a seed that we all nurture, that we all cultivate the ground around it. We can build up a monumental site of hope that people can look towards and be able to gain an understanding on where their pain lies also.
That's true.
We can do it together, Queen.
I believe it. I definitely believe that. I'm going to jump back down to this caller. Let me put this microphone in front of this brother's face right here. Kovan?
Yes.
Okay. I want to check in with you a little bit and see, what did the training do for you? I mean, did you get something out of it? Was it something that is you can apply where you at? I mean, are you able to have those contacts still? Are those people still registering with you? What's happening?
Yeah, I would definitely say the training, I learned a lot from the training this week. I'm still, like, trying to take everything in. There's, like, so much information that I learned that it's a lot of stuff that I didn't even know that was going on, like in Minnesota, as far as, like, the education gap or whatever between, like, you know, when it comes to colored students and white students. I didn't know there was such a big gap in the equity thing with that. So I took a lot from that, and also just, you know, like with the school systems in different cities across the United States too as well, when other people were sharing their stories about, you know, where they're from and the struggles, you know, that they're going through too as well. I could really resonate, you know, with what they were saying. And, like, just taking it all in, I'm trying to figure out what the next step is going to be for me to, you know, help out my community and make a difference.
Right. That's absolutely 100%. So more, your thing was more on education. We got somebody that's going to be a watchdog out in North Carolina. I know he's going to be out there in North Carolina watching them banks and watching that housing, because that's definitely something that is like crucial in our neighborhood. We have been victimized by every company possible. Like every company possible that could take advantage of us has done so. And so I just, you know, every time I think about this, like, you know what I'm saying, it's crazy because, oh, man, we always get the bad deals. Like, we always get the where we have to be the ones who have to come in and be a pioneer in breaking that news to our community. And even within our own community, I think that, yes, we can make some differences, but the problem is is that we got to get people that will show up. You know what I'm saying? And keep a list. And keep a list of those people that will show up. Not only is it important to watchdog the education gap that's going on, Trayvon, but, you know, to making sure that we don't get no more schools closed. And that whatever dollars is supposed to come into our city, we need to track who's getting those dollars and why they got those dollars and how we can get a part of that for our own, not just our public life, but for our own self-interest. Because if your self-interest is education, then that's definitely something that we need to kind of be putting a watchdog on. I can't afford, well, my kids are grown, but I can't afford to sit back and watch my kids have to pay for an education just for a public education. And based upon what area, zip code you come from, then there's a such thing as an achievement gap. Like, I don't get that part. Like, I'm not understanding how, you know, that's going to equate. So hopefully, you know, we can definitely start to see how, you know, just how much watching and how much legislation that we got to start knowing who's just not Congressman Keith Ellison, but who's in charge of our district, who's in charge, you know, our city council. You know, we need to have those one-on-ones with them and let them know, you know, we watching what's happening. We know what's going on, and we got 300 people that's your constituents, or 400 people that's your constituents, or 37,000 people that's your constituents, that we can call a meeting together and start addressing some of those issues. So don't disregard us. That's what's up. That's what's up. That's what's up. That's what's up. So DeMario in North Carolina, is there anything else you might want to bring to the forefront?
Not really. I mean, mainly I'm looking at as far as with the economy and, you know, a lot of things that's going on behind the scenes that the media doesn't really bring out as far as with you know what I'm saying, with the cost of living and you know, and as far as with a lot of things, I feel like, you know, as far as with what's more, you know what I'm saying, important to me is just, you know what I'm saying, reducing the cost of living, because I mean, like I said, it's hard out here for you know what I'm saying, for the ones who they don't, you know what I'm saying, really got it like that, you know what I'm saying, as far as with, you know what I'm saying, with the income. But you know what I'm saying, like y'all said, I feel like we need to get, you know what I'm saying, people more, you know what I'm saying, involved with like all these meetings that, you know what I'm saying, like downtown that, you know what I'm saying, city council, and it's a lot of people that don't even know who their senator is, or who their legislators are, or who's over their district. I mean,
wow.
It's a lot of, I mean, you can go out here and ask somebody, like, so, you know, do you know who your mayor is? Do you know who your senator is? I don't ask people, like, they don't know. You know what I'm saying? But like, you know, like y'all said, it's a lot of miseducation that's been going on, you know what I'm saying, within our school system, you know what I'm saying, as well. But also, you know, as far as with voting, yeah, okay, you know what I'm saying, we all are, you know what I'm saying, encouraged to vote. But at the same time, I always believe that in order, you know what I'm saying, to make change, it's going to take more than just voting. It's going to take a lot of action, you know. You know, and I feel like as much as people can wait in line to get food.
Ooh, what is that? What is that? Brother Hess, that was your phone. That was your phone, brother. I told y'all. it resonates, that sound. Thomas, you got to
mute it off. Yeah, put the mute on. Put the mute on
Queen,
if you ain't talking.
Queen, I gotta go, but I just wanted to piggyback on what the brother was just saying about getting involved in getting to know your senators and the judges and the representatives and the commissioners and those types of political people, getting to know them. That's very true. We must get to know who these people are who have this power. But I have to go. But I just wanted to say real quick, though, it's not even just the political people, you guys. I'm involved with different organizations in the neighborhood, and those are the people who run the things behind the scenes. Those are the people who are holding the political people in office. They're holding them accountable and responsible like we should be holding them accountable and responsible. One of the things they say is, we never, black folks don't show up to these meetings or to these decision-making tables. And sometimes that's true because you know what? We're so bored with it. It's a whole nother language. They speak different languages at these meetings that we seem to can't comprehend with, which is, I like to call it the bullshit language, where you use a lot of big words, but you're really not saying anything, and you're just really being manipulative. But please get to know people in your neighborhood, because I'm going to say this again, power is relational. So it's not what you know, it's who you know. Everything that I have ever accomplished is because I have built a relationship with somebody who knew somebody who knew somebody. And that's how it got to me. So I'm going to tell you, it may seem like these political people are powerful. And I'm going to tell you, these neighborhood organizations are the ones who are getting the money from the government to do things in our neighborhoods. And if you don't want poverty pimps, then show up at the table and be one of the people who are on the board of directors of these neighborhood associations. And you can steer these organizations the way that you would like to see your neighborhood organizations be steered. And on that note, I'm going to get off because I got babies. I love y'all.
We love you too. And thank you for coming to our show and come back again. Yes, all the time. That is so very true, DeMario, that it's these communities, these community groups that hide themselves and only meet on certain times, that is out here taking these monies and not doing anything with them. And you got to be able to sit on these committees. And I would say this, for the ones that say they part of growth and development, take your whole count. Take your whole count to the meeting. We going to a meeting today, and we're going to learn about what's going on in these meetings. Okay? Make it a field trip. Make it a day. Whatever it is, show up in numbers so that people take you serious about what you watchdogging or what issues you trying to address. Because a lot of times things don't get done because there is a lot of poverty pimps out there, Brother Manu. There is a lot of poverty pimps out there. Uh-oh. I hear somebody's phone doing them. Yes.
Yeah, Sister Queen, this is Manu. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I just wanted to speak to them young poverty pimps that's we know it's individuals that's in our neighborhood that say that they want to do something, and they do get to sit at those tables and they do get signed checks. You understand what I'm saying? But just because they say that they do it don't mean that it trickles down to the hood. You know what I mean? It trickles down to the little homie, or it trickles down to, our school systems. That's why it's so important for us to, know that there are individuals that are speaking on our behalf and getting the money, but they ain't even doing nothing. You understand what I'm saying? Then you also have some people that, they want to sit at the table to say that they do something, but, a lot of times they get turned down because they just don't have no credibility they're not actually out here doing it yet. You understand what I'm saying? So, you know, the whole thing is, and, you know, put a couple different pieces together is, you know, when you have those numbers and you have some real issues, you know what I'm saying, you really have a goal and you really have something that you're trying to accomplish or put in your neighborhood that's going to benefit your neighborhood, give some individuals some, you know what I'm saying, opportunities to work for themselves and give our individuals opportunities to, you know, be mentees with some real mentors and give individuals opportunity to, you know, reach out to individuals and give them a better perspective and give them at least enough hope to, you know what I'm saying, have patience with themselves that things will work out. You know what I'm saying? Right. You know, we got to get fully engaged with that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know, and through the whole meeting, I was realizing that, you know, I was sitting in a company, you know, when I first came, I was kind of, you know, it's always a culture shock to me to be in a room full of, you know, older white men and older white women and, you know what I'm saying, different nationalities, not really the different nationalities, but, you know, these individuals that we look at as always being our enemy. You know, and one thing we learned in the organization is that, you know, there is no permanent enemies or permanent friends because, you know, we can agree today on all the issues, but, you know, later on down the line, there may be something that we don't see eye to eye about. That is no reason to fall out. Let me put that out there. Because we disagree or something or we don't see eye to eye, look, we can overlook that and address the issues that we do agree on. We have more to agree on than we do to have to disagree on. You know what I mean? And that's one thing that we still suffer with, you know what I'm saying, with that divide and conquer in our communities, within our people is, you know, because, you know, you don't wear the same color I wear, I ain't finna listen to you. You ain't talking about nothing or, you know what I'm saying, you don't wear your jeans as tight as I wear mine or, you know what I'm saying, you wear yours sagging and I don't, so you don't really want to listen to what I'm talking about. Man, come on, let's do away with those divisiveness. Mm-hmm. Let's do away with that which, you know, we can disagree upon. Let's touch on the things that we can agree upon and work from there because, you know, it's going to come a time where we might not see eye to eye. We might not fully 100% agree. And at that time, we got to go into our self-discipline and our own self-interest and remember what our interest is. Remember what our long-term goal is. You understand what I'm saying? It's not going to be compatible with everybody. Everybody's goal ain't going to be the same, but we will have the same, you know, a lot of times we're going to have those same common interests. You know what I'm saying? And that's where the love began. That's where we began to, you know what I'm saying, really, you know, like they said, link up arm in arm, you know, and really pull at each other. So, you know, it might be somebody that looks totally different from you and from a totally different background. You know, with them one-on-ones, that's where you know, get that common interest and find out where their heart really is and what their passion really is. You know what I mean? So, you know, when you do them one-on-ones and get them allies and get them people on your side, man, just know that, you know, we gotta hold them accountable, and they may not always look like us, but man, there's some people out here that really that's tired of it too. And they may look just like the ones that we can identify as our oppressor. But if you don't never engage in them.
We want to encourage people what one-on-ones are. Why don't you speak a little bit about what a one-on-one is and self-interest is? Why don't you talk a little bit about that, because people don't know what a one-on-one is. What you mean, one-on-one basketball? So people aren't educated about that. So let's educate them about what is a one-on-one.
Yeah, that one-on-one. You know, that one-on-one is a interaction between you and another individual. You and this other individual, you're trying to get to know or get an understanding what their interest is, what they want to do, what they're trying to do, you know, where their power lies, you know, and you engage in a one-on-one communication. It's where, you know, you ask them a couple of key things about themselves, and you also share with them some key things about yourself. So at that time, you can either gather an ally or at least find out about somebody and what it is they're doing for future connections, right? So now you have an ally that, you know, just like with me and this 73-year-old beautiful a young lady that said that she wants her soft voice to be so strong, you know,
Patricia.
so powerful. Yes, Patricia, Miss Patricia. In looking at her, you know, it's I don't know how we could have anything in common, but talking with her, we have a common bond because her church has a clothing closet. Her church has a food shelf, right? And it's right in Brooklyn Center, not that far. We do service to some people out there, but she said that you don't need ID and proof of where you stay to come out there and get some help if you really help, because they don't get those type of people that, you know, really rush up on them. So a lot of stuff that they get sit because a lot of people don't come through. Now, my common interest is that I have people in my peripheral, in my neighborhood that come down to the hub that need to utilize a food shelf and a clothing closet. Now, what I just did was linked arms with the individual that can provide that, right? Never knew this individual existed. Never knew that this church did any of this, right? And she never knew anything about me. So now we have an agreement that in exchanging the numbers that, you know, I would call her before I would send somebody out there, and she agreed that she would make sure they got all and everything that they need.
Okay. And see, that's what really, a one-on-one is really about building a relationship. It's like an interview. It's like, let me tell you my story, you tell me your story, and what are your interests? What is your interest? What are you doing? What kind of things do you do, and what kind of things you do in the community? And once you start having that dialogue, that's the ability to be able to make a connection. And there's a lot of things going on in our churches that our churches are not really able, well, they are able, but they have a certain fear. And so we want to kind of break those barriers to have that conversation and build those relationships, DeMario, if you will, with these different community organizations, with these different churches, and you yourself gain that public life, that public notoriety and credibility about who you are and what your interests are. And, you know, that takes it all the way back to that conversation you've been having with the mayor's office about this housing. And I can tell you this, that if you start door knocking and come up with, you know, writing about, you know, what your interest is and being able to speak that to the people that you're door knocking to, you're going to present a problem. You're going to say, these people is going to look at you differently in your community. Your mayor is going to look at you with a lot more respect, like, this man just told me to my face he can come up with 300 people in a meeting and we can talk about predatory lending and unfair housing and the rent being high and how we need to have some solution in this conversation with HUD and Section 236 on trying to make some of these places more affordable economically. When people move in, they'll be based on 30% of their income instead of taking all the money that they probably work for and paying it towards the rent. And so we want to kind of put you in that frame of mind because I see the problem. Like, I see the problem. We have that problem all over the country. It's not just here. Brother Thomas was telling us that, you know, in Detroit, it's like 3-4 houses in a row that is boarded up. And we got that problem everywhere, you know. And the thing is while them houses is boarded up, they could be having people go in there and gut them houses out and put a livable wage together or some type of livable rent payment together where people can actually have some housing. Because once them houses are boarded up, they sit on a board and vacant list. And the city holds that. Your city holds that list. Any property, records, anything like that in the city, they hold that listing of boarded and vacant housing. And then it sits on a code and compliance. And code and compliance is a list that tells you what needs to be fixed in those houses. And once you start learning that, you will learn how to acquire those properties. Sometimes you acquire them for half of what they're worth, and they depending on how much work they need. And so those type of avenues we need to start looking at when we start talking about turning this country around and getting people some housing. You know, that's one of the big few. I know because I done did the housing things like 2-3 times, and now I'm back ready to get back in the game. But I'm a little more smarter this time about buying some real estate. I'm a little more wiser. See, they still got houses you can buy for less than $5,000. I remember when 10 years ago, just 10 years ago, you could buy a boarded and vacant house for $1. Now you can own that property for $2,700. Take them boards down, and you can get 6 months or a year to fix that property up, and you don't have a payment on it or nothing. But it's going to take, it's going to take us sharing and having dialogue with one another, not just blog talk, but, you know, this is where you get your foundation and your support and to get involved and, you know, Facebook me, inbox me. Anybody want to Facebook me, inbox me on whatever issue it is. If I don't know it, I can definitely point you to somebody that can. And so I encourage individuals to do that. I encourage you to, you know, get serious about your community. Know what it is that you're trying to do. Know what it is that you're trying to put together because, I mean, you know, it's nothing like the present. It's nothing like the present. Brother Hess, why your phone keep dropping? Brother Hess?
Not sure, but I believe that there is an approach to this. I think I'm going to have to stand inside of a range where I can make sure that it doesn't do so.
Yes.
And everything that's getting brought up tonight, you know, about private.
Oh, we can't hear you. I can't hear you. I can't hear you. I need to hear you.
Can you hear me now?
What's the matter? You a little echoey. A little bit echoey.
I might be standing in a bad spot right there.
Yes, can you hear me now?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Yes. You know, everything that we're speaking on tonight, you know, this is what we're trying to do here with Awareness to Conscious Mind, because we're actually trying to bring about approach to the different things and issues. These things are all the same country, you know, these houses being torn down in the inner cities, you know, them building up cheap houses and apartments out in the outskirts, you know what I'm saying, pushing certain classes out and bringing certain classes in. You know, we need to know that what they're doing, because it's like a debate, Queen.
Mm-hmm.
I can't win a debate if I'm not prepared with an education on what it is that this topic is. We don't know what they're doing to organize things in a way to push us out. We're not educated on these things. So when it comes time for us to speak on these, on our end of the debate, as far as the con team, we can't speak on it. We're not prepared at the time. So that's what we're striving to do. We're striving to prepare the people so that they can come close to whatever these people are coming with and coming up with to basically dehumanize us, and we're finding ways to be able to combat this. So, you know, it's going to take a lot more education. It's going to take a lot more, like what's being spoken about at this seminar, you know, at
that we have to start these one-on-one approaches. We have to start going in the doors and speaking to people that we probably would normally be uncomfortable talking to. You know, people who are not raised the way that we're raised, or weren't conditioned the way that we're conditioned. We have to do like Martin Luther King, or we have to do like Mahatma Gandhi. We have to help them to feel our pain. You understand? And that's going to take a lot of talking. That's going to take a lot of one-on-ones. That's going to take a lot of different approaches. And you know, we just got to stay. We got to stay adamant. We must stay adamant.
So definitely. Okay, who is that? Yes. Yes.
And I just want to interject on that as far as with, like, you know what I'm saying, as far as what, you know, like the brother said, as far as, like, you know what I'm saying, with the human rights. And I'm kind of familiar with the, you know what I'm saying, I think it's called like the Universal Declaration of, you know what I'm saying, human rights. And, like, it's a lot of things in that we don't, I ain't gonna say we as in, like, you know what I'm saying, like the people, but like these politicians, and it's a lot of things that they don't, you know what I'm saying, follow by that they should be following by, as far as with being a brotherhood, as far as dealing with, you know what I'm saying. It's like, it's so many articles that we as a people are, you know what I'm saying, violating. And I just feel like, as far as with the rent situation, the bill situation, because I don't really consider, well, I've been told that I'm I think like a socialist, because it's certain things that I don't really, you know what I'm saying, agree with, as far as with how things are ran and you know what I'm saying, society. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's like I got beef with the system. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean, that's how I can put it in, you know what I'm saying, street terms. I got beef with the system. You know what I'm saying? I feel like things are not set up in a brotherly love way, that like how you have like all these religions and these churches, a lot of these religions and a lot of these churches preach about. It's not being done. And the same ones that, you know, stand back and they have the power and they have that, you know what I'm saying, type of leadership role to, I mean, because this is one thing. This is like, you know what I'm saying, some things that I don't really believe in. I don't believe in getting evicted. I don't believe in your lights being cut off because you can't come up with this certain amount of green piece of paper to pay this other person who's supposed to be a part of the human family. And this is supposed to be my brother, this is supposed to be my sister, under God. But you come, and since I can't, you know what I'm saying, come up with this debt that I owe you, you come and you turn my lights off, and if I can't come up with this rent, you telling me to get it, and don't care what happens to me after that. Okay. It's certain things that I don't agree with in society that I feel like it shouldn't be done under God. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I've been called a socialist for it. I've been called, you know, well, this is how things are, but I don't believe in that. I don't think just because things are set up like this way before I was born, I mean, I really don't think things have to be the way they are, but I just feel like we as a people, I feel like I talked to Lando G, you know what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying, on Facebook. Me and him talked about this, and, you know what I'm saying, pretty much, I was telling him, I feel like we all need to the type of responsibility as, you know, people, you know what I'm saying, as far as with individual responsibility. Right. There's a lot of articles in the Universal Declaration of, you know what I'm saying, human rights that I really wrote down and I, studied and I acknowledged that it's a lot of people that's not, following. You know what I'm saying? And also,
that's how Alec got it. That's how Alec got started, because people wasn't really following or watching what was going on with the legislation, and that's how all these companies really start forming together, because they were saying that, they were being taxed too high. And to be really honest and realistic with you is that these different companies, rich people they want to avoid paying anything into anything, because they feel as though certain class or groups of people or status of people are lazy, okay? That's what one of the things was that came out in that conference that we went to, training that we went to, is that some people are just lazy, and that, the 10 first amendments written in the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, were written so that the government couldn't come against its own people. But I'll say this to you, DeMario. Now, I don't know if people really understand what the word socialist means, because you agree or disagree with, people that go to church and they say amen and hallelujah is the same people to come on and turn your lights off. I mean, there's a certain degree where, people just have to be responsible with the, budgeting their money. And then there's another degree where if you make things so astronomically high and unaffordable, then people aren't going to be able to make a payment to you. But to try to put something on it until they can get all caught up, if that. Now, I agree with you on some of the things, because, I see people in these churches, and it came out in this training that one of the pastors called out these pastors. He said, you that have 1,200 members, 12,000 members, you sit in these communities and you do absolutely nothing for the people in these communities. Well, part of the church that we don't get to see pays dues. And then the other part of the functioning of a church, also, they gather money so that they can have certain liberties within their church. But you got to understand that the church is separate from state. That's the First Amendment. The church is separate from state. It's not all about, the freedom of speech, but it's also the separation of church and state. And so the church has its own functionality as well as the state. But where we mess up at in this country as a people is that people develop certain privileges. People believe that based on their privileges that they don't have to help you, that you should be in an economic situation that is already helping yourselves, that you should be able, just like the Hispanic, just like the foreign Asian population of people that come into this country, that you should already know how to engage and have a professional relationship in your community and have something built that's economically making money for you and your community. But we far get away from that because we believe that we are privileged. I'm an American, I'm black, I'm free, and I should be able to do whatever I want to do. That's not true. That's not true. And they are quick to let you know that, yes, you may obtain some of that which other people aren't as oppressed by, but you ain't nowhere near being free. Ain't nothing free, as a matter of fact. And so as I take a look at, some of those doctrines that's written, and I done my homework and research, yeah, I got to agree with you. I don't feel that, it's right that, people have these churches in their community, yet they can't come to these churches and ask them to get an office or ask them, can they have a meeting there without paying them some kind of money, or the availability of resources not being able to be there so that people can count on them. They certainly want you to come in there and worship and praise. They certainly want you to come in there and put that money in the basket as it goes up and down from Ursha to Ursha. But when it comes back to them getting involved in the community and doing something for the people that are in that community, as that pastor said, from one pastor to another, you do nothing. And it becomes it becomes contagious, because people that get nothing do nothing. And I also heard this over the training course, that if you do nothing, evil triumphs over you. So I'm in somewhat agreement with you. I don't really think that it's a socialist look because you want, some social justice to happen for some racial inequality. I don't really see how, that makes you a socialist, but I do see that we have a lot of businesses that are in our community that don't give back to our community. And until, and it's almost like certain class of people have to prove that they are actually, certain class of people actually have to prove either that they have a nationality or that they just have the right to belong. And most of the time, I see us as Black African descent people not being included in that conversation. Like we are less invited at the table to, engage. But I try to say that what we need is to organize people and organize money and organize our ideas more, get more of a focus, and be able to show up in record numbers to support what we're trying to put together. Because nothing is going to change until we do that, DeMario. Nothing is going to change until we do that. I had another caller slide in. I'm gonna get right back with you, DeMario. Hold just that thought 1 second. I got a caller called in. Caller 678-221. Caller 678-221. Welcome to Awareness to Conscious Minds. Your mic is hot. Please tell us your name and where you're calling from.
My name is Gerald Taylor, and I'm calling from Alamo, Georgia.
Alamo, Georgia. Okay, sir. So what do you do in your community, and how can others engage in doing what you do?
Well, right now, basically what we do in the community is a lot of community activism. And I was just listening about the point of view about the churches, which my sister is the pastor of a church. And how I got her involved in a lot of community activism is I challenged her based on some of the things that was just being said. We got a church on every corner, but if there's poverty and crime and violence on every corner as well. So what I tried to establish her is, you just can't be an individual that read about Jesus. If Jesus is your thing, you got to be like Jesus. And one thing Jesus did was went out in the field. He was a field soldier. So you got to go out of this building, talking about the church doors are open, and go out in community and do positive things that will get the attention of the people. One thing I had to remind my sister is, anytime you eliminate distractions, people are more inclined to listen to the message. So now every distraction that's going on in the community that you target, address that first, and once you come with a resolution of that, then you can come with your message. Actually, in the area, there was an area in Augusta, Georgia called Allen Homes, which is an impoverished ghetto area where 4 people had been murdered in that area in like 3 days. So So what she did, she took my advice. She took her church down to that housing project. They marched around it 7 times in the symbolical vision of the wall of Jericho, and then went in the middle of the project and had church service. Now judges and mayors have reached out on her and congratulated her about her community activism, and now that's her thing, social development. So again, you know, I'm a type of person that talk is cheap. You got to show and prove what you're saying. So that's basically what I.
Okay.
That's it.
All right. Okay. Well, I want to. What's your name again, sir?
My name is Gerald Taylor.
Gerald. Okay. So let me say this too. I am in agreement with you. I got to say this though. That one thing that I can speak on is that there's a difference between activism and organizing, right? Activism is doing exactly what your sister did. She acted. She went out there. She seen the issue. She seen that there was a problem, and she acted on that. Now, organizing the community is getting groups of people to make a continuum effort, because after that prayer service, there needs to be a continuing effort that we stay in dialogue with one another and that we grow our community. We grow in numbers. We get more people involved. We start pulling things. Then we start obtaining a lot more power, because the one thing I know about them politicians is as soon as they feel that you don't have enough people, constituents from their neighborhood to call them on some of the things that they don't do, they dissipate. They move on. And some of the things that I noticed that when we were doing this training, we went to this long training by this power organization called Isaiah. And Isaiah is a little different from what I've ever experienced, because it is an organization. I have a nonprofit, 501c3, which is a charitable nonprofit. They have the same number. So here's what they learned to do. And it's different because there's like none out there like this, okay, in terms of nonprofits. Their whole way of operating is not just to provide direct services. When you think about nonprofits, that we write grants and we help people and we help families and this and that, but they're more about social, addressing social injustice, and they're more about setting the tone for racial inequality. And how they do that, they just showed us this weekend that they go and they door knock, they campaign, they get on issues that need the people to be conscious, and they need to persuade them to vote a certain kind of way. So what they did was they got a database set with 37,000 people. Now, it's something to come up with a couple hundred or 50 or 40 or 30 people, but when you talk about bringing 37,000 people to the mayor's office, when you talk about calling up a congressperson or a legislative person and let them know we got 37,000 constituents, which means you got 37,000 people that are in their district, you got somebody's attention. And so because of that kind of conversation, and they showed us how they did that, I'm willing to show other people how to do it. I'm willing to go out here and show mass people how to do it. I'm trying to get people to build power here and let people know that there is a message. And the message is the more people you have, the more organized people you have to jump on a movement with you that's accountable, responsible, and if you call them, you can rely on them, that right there speaks volumes
That's right.
That's the next big move, baby. Them are powerhouse organizations. And so that's what this whole little platform has been about this whole time I've been rapping over here on this mic. That's what I'm trying to get people to get into. We finna embark upon something new. Mm-hmm. We got another problem ahead of us. And we got legislation. Let me tell you what the problem is. It's called ALEC. And the problem with ALEC is that not only has ALEC locked arms and built relationships with the Chamber of Commerce, which everything goes through the Chamber of Commerce. Any housing, any real estate, any banking, any business in your community, it goes through the Chamber of Commerce. And ALEC has now locked arms and relationship building with those people. So it's concerning me because so there's no wonder why we ain't got no grant money. There's no wonder why there ain't no recreation center. There's no wonder why that your classrooms don't got chalk. There's no wonder why the teachers are out here buying school supplies when kids come to school that don't have school supplies. There's no wonder why we live in poverty. There's no wonder why we paying high-ass mortgages. There's no wonder why our interest rate is higher on us based upon our zip codes. And there's no wonder why they redistrict these different districts so that certain people can hold on to their seats. There's no wonder why we have these different problems of violence in our communities. That shit is all designed, baby. And it's because we don't take in record numbers, we don't stick together for shit. That's the problem. That's the problem. You can get 20 Mexican people to go live in one-bedroom apartments and they all can get along. But you can't get 5 black people to live in a house without somebody telling you, get the fuck out. I don't have to respect you. So until we learn how to really address and conquer them issues, we're going to keep on being at the swoop line, or we're going to keep on struggling trying to make an end meet, and we're going to keep on trying to figure things out. That's our problem, man. We're not working these issues and coming together and working these issues correctly. Not only do we got the name game messed up, but we don't have enough in us to set aside and put some humility on the table and set aside those differences and be able to work on what's really ahead of us. And ALEC is a cold piece of work because he promises to get those struggling legislators that's out there struggling with those decisions and struggling with those campaign funds to help get him some money, whether it comes through FedEx, whether it comes through UPS, whether it comes through Comcast, Time Warner, Shell Gas, whoever it is that he lay in the bed with, to make sure you put some dollars aside to help those people stay elected in office and help them write them laws to stand your ground and keep shooting at anybody that wears a hoodie. As long as we stay apart, we're going to keep on having them problems.
That's right.
As long as we don't care, we're going to keep on having them problems.
1,000 pardons, but I had a conversation with it was with I think it was a bus driver at it was like a meeting that we had during the meeting that we had at, you know what I'm saying, for the housing authority that we had at a church a while back. And the bus driver was telling me that, you know, she liked me being there, being that I'm young and I'm only 23, because it was mostly older people that was there.
Wow.
Yeah.
23 years old. You're doing
Yeah.
tremendous work, brother. You need an applaud. You need a salute.
Yeah.
That's right.
So, you know, she was telling me that, you know, because, you know, as far as with, you know, like the low income housing, it's a lot of people, like you got teachers, you got bus drivers that can't afford, you know what I'm saying, to pay their rent. So it was a lot of opposition that was going on, and you know, as far as with like a low income housing, you know what I'm saying, being built, and like, you know, as far as with the higher income people. But my brother just told me that you know, he was like, well, what if your income is based on like everything, like your car payment and your light bill and your rent? How about that? Go ahead.
Okay, I don't know where that sound came from. That's why I tell people to kind of mute the background noise. But let me just say something real fast. I'm going to address that little piece right there, because I understand where you're going with this. You people are working these jobs, and yet they're not making enough money to pay their rent. And here's what I have to say to you. Listening audience, here's what I have to say to you. If you have a job and you think that that's your only source of income, you're a damn fool. If you have a job and you've been working on that job and you don't take that job and make that job make more money for you, something is wrong with you. There's a such thing called an EIN, which is an employee identification number. I don't care how much money you got. Go buy a vending machine. Go to Sam's Club or Costco's and fill that vending machine up so you can have some income coming in your pocket, because that's what income is, incoming some more money. There's no reason for people out here in America to continue to bust your butt at a job that is not covering all your bills. Create something with an EIN number. Make that work for you. Do that as extra income so that you can, let me say this. I got a friend that found out how to buy ATM machines. An ATM machine costs $2,500. Take a loan out. You're taking a car loan out anyway. You're sitting at home anyway. Take a loan out. Get you an ATM machine and live off the fees. Call whoever it is, Brinks or whoever it is, to come fill up that machine and set a contract up with these banks. And the banks put the money in the machine. You don't. You just catch the money off of the fees. So if your whole objective is thinking that, oh, man, I need a job, you need a new way of thinking is what I'm saying to you. There's other things out here. Okay, I'm going to give you another one. I got a friend who has an EIN number, and, you know, I call her Miss Weed because she loves a lot of weed, and there's a lot of sisters out there love to buy weed. So there's this website where, you know, they got this new hair called Indie Remy. And this hair is $200, okay? $190 for a 14 and a 16 is $200 and blah, 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 right? So I find this hair for $50. $50. So you know what Miss Weed did? Miss Weed went and bought a whole box of hair. Now Miss Weed sell hair. She worked a job. She got an EIN number. And Miss Weed sell hair. Yeah. She ain't going to sell it for $50, but she got some money coming in because every cutie with a booty like hair. Believe that. So it's just the whole thing about, it's true. It's the whole thing about rethinking and redesigning how you want to put something together. That's what it is. It takes money to make money. Bottom line. And if you're not going to, you know, you see, the game is definitely chess, not checkers. And they say that because you got to be strategic enough to know what it is that you're doing here. If you only got, you know, a contract job or whatever kind of job you got, you have got to take an EIN number. You have got to open up you something. You have got to open up a line of credit. And most people don't know that you take an EIN number to a credit union or a bank. I would prefer a credit union, lower rates. And then you ask them for the application on how to build a line of credit, and they give that to you. They give that to you. And so as you start building credit for your business, start buying in your EIN number so that, you don't have to worry about ruining your credit. Come on. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. And for my listening audience out there, please believe me that there are ways to get money without that sack. There are ways to being creative and doing things without you having to take those risks to the penitentiary. So I'm really encouraging that. Because a lot of times we don't know that. We're sitting there struggling. We can have meeting after meeting after meeting. I need a solution. The hell is an EIN number? An employee identification number. Where do you get it? At the Secretary of State. How much is it? $30. What do I do with it? You take it to a credit union or a bank. You start an account. You get a federal tax number, and you start moving forward from there. Stop living from check to check. Please, stop living from check to check and start listening to Awareness to Conscious Mind every Saturday at 6 p.m. so you too can get your legal hustle on. That's what it do. DeMario, go ahead. You had this meeting with this bus driver. They praised you because you were young and you were there, and they were struggling. And what was the outcome?
I mean, she was letting me know that, pretty much, basically she was just glad to see young people there that, like-minded, for my age, because she was like, she know this, I guess it was a man or like some friend that she knew that got shot because he stepped on another man's shoe. So he got shot. I guess it was a younger guy that ended up shooting him because, he stepped on his shoe. So what she was saying is, like, it's crazy how you have certain people, within society that's fighting for all these negative things. I'm not trying to make it about black and white, but, you have a lot of people, within society that fight, for negative things, or like, oh, well, you looked at me the wrong way, or, you stepped on my shoe and all this crazy stuff. So, she was saying that, that she liked that, she had a younger person to see that was there rather than you had the older generation. But that's one of the problems that I noticed within the community, and I noticed within the hood, period. These older people don't reach out to the younger generation. They don't.
They scared, baby. They scared. I had, when we did God's funeral up here, one of the sisters came from Chicago and said to me, she said, Queen, them young guys down there, we ran up on them and we told them, hey, man, stop killing each other, man. You ain't doing nothing but killing each other. She said them young guys pulled out that gun and told her, if you don't get away from around here and get from in front of this barrel, you going to get shot. See? So the thing is that people got to really invest themselves, with the individuals that's conscious. You can't run up on all the shooters. You see what I'm saying? You can't run up on all the shooters. And I tell people all the time, like, it's three things in a game. It's the leaders, it's the followers, and, or the members, and then there's the shooters. And we only hear about the guys that's the shooters. We don't hear nothing good about young guys that's out there in the meetings and talking about trying to produce, and we don't hear nothing about young guys, that's involved in trying to have something positive and productive going on. We don't hear nothing about young guys doing community organizing. We don't hear nothing about young guys trying to really put things forward, and just doing what they need to do as a people. No, what we hear about is the shooters. As soon as you say ex-offenders and gang members, people really don't want to hear that. I know, especially up here in Minnesota, as soon as you say, I want to help people that are in gangs, you ain't going to get a dime. You might as well mask that word and say, I want to help people that are disadvantaged. Or, I want to help people that live below the poverty line. But as soon as you say gang, oh, man, they ain't going to help you because they don't think that you can be helped. I had a woman told me, she said, I never met a gang member. I never met a gang member. At this training, the woman said, I never met a gang member. I shook my hand out. I stuck my hand out, and I shook her hand. She said, oh, my God, are you a gang member? I said, of course. But I say that because, she was a Democrat. I said, do I tell you not to be a Democrat? I said, I never met a Democrat. I want to shake your hand again. I don't tell you how to be a Democrat. I don't tell them that want to be a Republican not to be a Republican. But I can say this. There is strength in numbers. There is strength in groups of people that go out here and do something and organize in their community. And the money, you don't have to worry about the money. If you can get 37,000 people on a phone bank, on a phone line to go out and persuade them to vote, you can ask 37,000 people for some money. And you can best believe if you was courageous enough to go in your city or in your community and door knock and tell them people about these issues of housing and foreclosure and predatory lending, and you can present that information and statistics, I promise you, you'll have more people supporting you financially than you could ever imagine. And that's exactly what Isaiah does. Yep. They mobilize people. I got another program, another community organizing group that I used to work with called Take Action. And those people do the same thing. They take action. They go out in their communities, and endorse people. They actually have the power to go and endorse people. Why do they have the power? Because they have went from door to door, knocked, phone call, got the data, and been able to present it to the mayors and to them commissioners and them congressmen and letting them know, hey, man, I got 47,000 of your constituents right here in this district. I got another 5 or 10 right here, 1,000 in this district. And them people are ready to have a meeting. And we're going to hold it, and if you don't show up, you're going to be left out of the conversation. What we're going to do is we're going to go get somebody that's running against you to hold a conversation with us. And I bet you they tear the door down. I bet you they tear the door down trying to figure out, who are you? Who is you pulling me on the carpet like this, holding me accountable? I'm 23, and I'm here to make a stand, and I'm telling you the rent is too damn high, and help us out here. Because we here, and we here in meetings, and we here, and we got large numbers with us. So it's not just about organizing the folks, it's about organizing people. And you're going to get your support. You'll get you some money. You let enough people come in sharing that same story. I work, and I don't have enough money to pay my bills. You know how many people in this country got that same story? You know how many people in this country that call themselves privileged, that now You're thinking differently. So you really gotta do your thing, T. And I congratulate you again. I salute you in your endeavors and your efforts. I'm gonna turn the mic back over to my co-host. I didn't went in on him. See, I didn't mean to. Kovan, I ain't forgot you. Don't hang up. I ain't forgot you.
I'm still here.
Okay, I thank you. Kovan, how old are you?
23.
See? See what I'm talking about, America? All my listening audience, these is 23-year-old young men out here, advantageous, out here. Watch out. Don't get mad because your old ass sitting around doing nothing. There's some young people out here ready to fill your shoes. They running up on them churches. They running up on them mayors. They having them conversations in that community. They're going to be the next community organizers. Don't get mad. Get mad about it. Co-host, Hess.
Yes, Sister Queen.
Yes.
Lord have mercy. Ain't that a beautiful thing to see that, these brothers are stepping up and they are already taking positions and they are becoming assertive. A lot of people, assert themselves for things that bring about individual blessings. But these brothers are asserting themselves to bring about community blessings, to bring about the things that they need changed, not only for their family, but for their whole communities. And they say it takes one man to change a house. It takes one house to change a community. And it takes one community to change a whole city as well as a nation. But it starts with that one man. But, I want to continue to, encourage these young brothers to fill the shoes that God has already placed before you. It's not hard. It's just different from what we were taught many, many years by those that we have embraced. But we begin to start growing and developing when we learn to think as well as act from our heart and not just our heads. We're going to get many images that come inside of our minds that we can ponder on. But when we begin to embrace those that actually encourage us, that actually brings enthusiasm into our life because of the passions that have already been deeply rooted there since childhood, now we're talking about fulfillment. And I just want to continue to provoke these young men to fulfill what's been already placed inside of them, which is a deep yearning, which is a hunger, just like myself, to serve my people. We are brothers of the struggle. We don't mind the struggle. So do we mind actually getting inside the struggle and understanding the struggle to the point to where we can do something about it? And that's where we're at right now. They talked about, a certain thing happened to stagnate the growth of the vision. A man without a vision is blind. We've never been blind. We just didn't take a hold to the vision that was set before us and then ask for help to understand that vision. And that's what I see these young men doing today by calling into awareness to conscious minds. They're tapping into the resources available so they can understand the vision that's placed before them. They see what the mission is that they have in life. They see it. And now they are gravitating toward those who can help them actually embrace it and embrace it with a purpose. That's what's going to bring their fulfillment. So I'm just so encouraged. I'm just so, passionate about these same brothers, because these are the brothers who I speak to every day, even on the inside. They still have hope. These brothers still have passionate seeds that have been planted inside them by Mud Deer and Big Mama and Aunt Mary and Miss Tina from across the street. Uncle Sam, you feel me? Old Billy Joe. We got so much, y'all, to give to society. But it starts with us giving it first to ourselves and remembering the purpose that God planted inside of us. So I thank these brothers for coming on to the show with us tonight, Queen. This has been a blessing to me.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, one thing, like I said, is for certain. We definitely are making an impact on people at Awareness to Conscious Mind. And,
That's right.
you know, despite what people think, it's a lot of people that I run into, they ask me, well, who been on your show? I'm looking for the hood star. You understand me? I'm looking for the hood star. I'm not looking for Jay-Z. I'm not looking for Wendy Williams. I'm not looking for Oprah no more. I'm done with that. I'm looking for people that are known in their communities for organizing. I'm looking for young people that are known in their communities for making a difference, that's out here. I'm looking for somebody 23, 24. I remember Yardman used to come on my show. Yardman is a wildlife firefighter out in Detroit, out in Michigan, Baldwin. So I just, you know, them is the young people that I'm looking for. Them is stars to me. That's royalty to me. For you to be 23 years old, you don't have a felony, and you out here talking about issues that matter most. Foreclosure, churches, how to get involved, how to do music. I mean, that to me says everything. That says the change is definitely at the forefront. And I'm so glad for Isaiah, because Isaiah actually, it took the wool off of my eyes, because I knew that after voters' ID had been defeated, what else was they going to come up with? What else? What's new? What else is you coming up with? You're going to come up with every tactic you possibly can. And until I learned about Alec is a dirty imposter. And so, it all draws together that we really can't be asleep on this watch.
That's right.
Yeah, we can't be asleep on this watch. We need to be a part of, what's happening out here. We dropped his call, and I wanted to say we at the part of the show that if your call drops, hey, man, he ain't going to be able to let you in unless you know how to AA by three-way. But, but we only got a few more minutes here to go at this show. And so I just wanted to say, that it is imperative that we as black people, if you want something to change and you want things to happen in favor for you, you have got to get out here on these streets. You got to hit the ground running. And I mean, you need to be making relationships and shaking hands and making friends and thinking bigger than just this organization, because there are many organizations out there, power organizations. Learn what that is. Learn what a public life is. Learn the difference between public life and private life. Public life don't mean, hey, we do the same thing, that we would do in our own private home, in our own private life. You have to separate the two.
That's right.
You have to separate the two. So, Kovan, we about ready to close up, but is there some more you want to share with us?
Yeah, I wanted to add, well, I know we'll talk later, but I definitely want to get together with you so we can start working on some ideas and stuff like that. Like, yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to figure out what direction I want to go as far as what issues to tackle first, because there's so many issues that need to be addressed.
That's right.
Yes, it is. And I'm so grateful that I went to that training, because I met a whole lot of people. And I was telling them, man, call the show. I just knew that Martha would call the show. I just knew that Ahmadi would call the show. You know what I'm saying? I thought Kyrie would call the show. Bishop James Wilson would call the show. But I send my love out to them, and Sister Diane, that Pastor Diane that called the show. And Bishop, Reverend Booker would call the show. I mean, and Brother Stewart. And if you have those numbers, Kovan, invite them and join them to sit on our show next week, so that we can have them come and we lost another call. We lost Gerald from out there in Atlanta. But we want to make sure that we invite those individuals, because I kind of see, I don't, when I go somewhere, here's the thing about me. When you invite me to the table, I'm going to remember what came out your mouth, and I'm going to take notes, because I want to spread that message. And I got a vehicle. This is my vehicle right here. They say, well, what kind of vehicle you got? How are you going to spread the message? How are you going to do it? This is my vehicle, this awareness to conscious mind, and I baby it, and I own it, and, I get out here and I let people know. You got to keep it 100% real right here. You might can use different words and, fancy it or whatever it is that you're trying to do in your own public life. But right here, I keep it 100. Right here, I keep it 100%. Yeah, so that individuals can really understand what you're getting and embarking on. And I do 1,500 people a week. See, I know that if I call on those people will make sure that they at the meeting. Those people going to make sure that they come out. And Lord forbid if I go past that Dixie line. Oh, we're going to be all on Facebook. I'm taking pictures, and we're going to do the little dance and everything, man. We're going to have it. Because I'm going to take that message, the same message. The senseless shootings and killings must stop. The disrespect of our elders must stop. The raping of our women must stop. And we've got to provide safer communities for these kids. That is the message I will never forget. So for us to get involved at this level of the game, that's what's up. We're going to recap right quick with Brother Hess before we get off these lines. Come on, Brother Hess, take us in.
Well, yes, you want to continue to, to encourage all the listening audience to remember that what we're doing on our group page, Awareness to Conscious Mind, we're trying to build a format where we have a simple if people on and give us who you are, give us what you are, what you're passionate about doing for others that has been done for you, and how we can participate with you in getting that message out. We asking that over the coming next 3 months, that if you have an asset that can help build this monument that we want people to be able to see called us, then come in. If you're T-shirt makers, we need T-shirts made. If you're banner makers, we need banners made. If you're artists, we need drawings. If you know how to do web page designs, we need one design. If you know how to make templates, if you know how to make instructionals, we need those techniques in order to provide what we have to be a force to be reckoned with. We have to get this message out by any means necessary, and we know that our higher power is going to put the tools before us that must be utilized to build this structure with. And it's going to be built on a foundation that's strong. We know that because we are the developers, and we allow God to develop this through us. So we have to come on the group page, join into the topics, join into the discussion. Feel free to get in the inbox us and get to know us. Do a one-on-one with us. Don't just hear Brother Hess. Don't just hear Queen Nucci. Don't just hear Manu and Real Law. Don't just hear about us. Come in and inbox us. Call us. Get to know who we are and what we're about. Find our past. Find our struggle. And find the history. You understand? So we can move forward together. So we continue to ask people to come home, come in, and be a part of us. We need you just like you need us once you realize what the vision is. Thank you so much, Mr. Queen, for having this beautiful platform, man. Beautiful, Queen.
You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. And with that, you know what I'm saying? We got that. We still got that. Give credit where credit is due. Go on our group page, Awareness to Conscious Minds on Facebook. If you another way to get in with us is if you see any of our names like any pictures, we immediately will put you in our Awareness to Conscious Minds group. And we want you to sign, give credit where credit is due. And once you sign, give credit where credit is due, then you just kind of leave that information. And once you leave that information, it's nothing. We already will have a list of contact on how you contact us and how we contact you. So if you're in the group Awareness to Conscious Minds, make sure you type in on our search engine, document, give credit where credit is due, click edit, and leave your information and press save, and that document goes right back to the top of the page, and more people can join in. If you're on community organizing or whatever it is that you got going on, you make sure you join us here every Saturday at 6 o'clock on Awareness to Conscious Minds, where we keep it conscious and we keep you engaged. We come up with solutions. So bring your pen and your paper so that you can get this information, because everybody ain't going to give it to you. They're going to hide it from you. They're going to keep it from you. So this is not what type of show that we have. We have a strong show base where people can come in here and get those resources that they need, that is about bettering themselves and bettering their society. So we want to make sure that you all understand that and what direction, to look forward to moving on some of these issues. Please help us fight this monster named Alec. Please help us get in these communities and stay grounded and stay focused. We thank you all for showing up. My listening audience, I love you. If I ever get a chance to hug all of you, I love you like a fat kid loves cake.
That's right.
So y'all remember that, man. You know what I'm saying, in my Monique voice. I love you for free, sugar. All right. Hug yourself, hug somebody, let them know that you love them. Tell people above ground that you love them. Don't wait till they get to going in the caskets and crying at funerals that you love them. Let them know that you love them and that you're sincere. That's about our time on Awareness to Conscious Minds. Again, every Saturday at 6 p.m. 646-378-1132. Come on, be a part of that discussion, be a part of that show. Do something in your community so we can air it here. If any information, any church announcements, any announcements going on in the hood, anything all over the country, we interested. Thank you for our guest, Demario Russell, for coming on the show from North Carolina. We thank you, young brother Kovan, for coming.
Yeah.
Young brother, we thank you and bless you for your struggle. Amen, amen.
It's nothing, it's nothing, it's nothing, it's nothing, it's nothing, it's nothing. It's nothing, it's nothing, it's nothing, it's nothing, it's nothing. Count another grip, smoke another zip. Let them young niggas tell it I be on my shit. Make 100K, spend it all today. What can I say? My DNA is Givenchy. Well, my swag is retarded. But I'm driving Ferrari. But I'm rocking Armani, Gianni, Versace, huh? Fuck around and I'll buy one of you broke niggas. My change, insane. My chain, oh that thing. It's nothing, 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 it's nothing. Stacking cheese to my bread right, smoking weed to my head right. Did it all on my own, so I'ma spend on my bread like it's nothing, it's nothing, it's nothing. Ooh, stacking cheese to my bread right, smoking trees to my head right. Did it all on my own, so I'ma spend on my bread like it's nothing, 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 it's nothing. You niggas chasing money, I'm on top of it. If it ain't money, don't know what the topic is. Don't come out till next year, that mean I'm rocking it. Order 37 bottles, call it poppin' shit. Goddamn, what you want? A private plane, fuck you on. Party in South of France when it's cold. Used to rock all that old shit till it got old. It's nothing.